check, check. Are you with me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I want this microphone right up against your lips. Check,
I see.
Check, check.
Like that.
Just like that. Well done, man.
All right.
And it's all on the GoPro. So, all right, so first things first is we now boot up some other systems. We turn on fundamentally a bunch of electronics, and I start to listen to the aviation weather.
Airport, automated weather observation, 0040 Zulu weather. Wind 150 at 6, visibility more than 10, sky condition 2,700 scattered, temperature 11 Celsius, 2.7 Celsius, altimeter 3026.
Put your feet gently on the rudder pedals.
Airport, automated weather
note that I'm just using them to steer the airplane. If I push the right rudder, I go to the right. If I push the left rudder, I go to the left. Now, there's brakes on the top of those pedals, so if I push the tops of both pedals gently, I bring the airplane to a stop. And if I want to make a tight turn, wind has to be flowing over the rudder to make it work. But if I want to make a tight turn, I can just tap the left brake gently.
Ah.
Okay?
Okay.
So, again, that wind was coming out of the south.
2007. Bremerton National Airport, automated weather observation, 0042 Zulu weather. Wind 150 at 6.
Okay, so 150 means it's coming from that direction, which means that we want to take off into the wind always, so we're going to start all the way down at that end.
Yeah.
So, put your feet on the rudder pedals gently at the top, and gently press the left rudder and try and track us down this yellow line. Rudder and brake, a little bit of combination of both. And now, using only the rudders if you can to spare the expensive brakes, try and track us down the yellow line. As it wanders off, push it or push harder. Push harder on the right pedal, the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So out there in front of us is a tail-dragging biplane getting ready to take off, and that's going to be a nice thing to see.
Oh, excellent.
Are we good to go? The answer, I believe, is yes, we're good to go. So I start it rolling, then I hit the rudder pedal. It's not turning me fast enough, so then I hit the brake pedal just a bit. Okay?
Okay.
So put a hand on the yoke, one hand, just one hand. Pretend you've got an egg in that hand. Oh, look, we get to photograph the biplane land, too.
Ah.
Gosh, I'm clever. So you pretend you have an egg in that hand and you don't wish to crush it.
Follow.
Oh, that's so cool. So now I have to stop short of these lines. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 15 Tango is holding short runway 20, Bremerton. That's a wheel landing. He's coming down on 2 wheels only. And he's being very careful not to go nose over. He doesn't have a nose wheel, so he has to be very careful. And then off he goes. Nicely done. A touch and go. Bremerton traffic, Skyhawk 15 Tango is line up and wait on runway 20 for left crosswind departure Bremerton. Okay, so we make sure nobody's coming in on the final.
Currently 5 nautical miles to the east, transitioning from south to north, 1,500 feet, Bremerton traffic.
So a gentleman says he's 5 miles east of us at 1,500 feet elevation. He's 5 miles south at 1,500 feet, and he's transitioning from south to north. So we'll be looking for him. Okay, we're lined up and ready to go. And the biplane, which is slow, is out of the way. There's nothing threatening me. He's making his turn to crosswind. So I put both feet on the floor, heels on the floor for sure. Put them on the pedals, but heels on the floor. I add power smoothly. And the first thing I check is the oil pressure correct? That's fine. Is the engine developing RPMs in the green? And is the airspeed indicator coming alive? And at 55 here, I'm going to just pull back on the yoke a little bit. I keep my hand on the throttle in case it decides to pop back. 55, I pitch the nose up, and I try and make a speed of about 60 miles an hour, 60 out of here for a minute until I clear the imaginary tree. Then I pushed the nose forward a little bit to increase my speed of climb out. The wind blew me off the runway center line, so now I'm going to try and get back to that center line. I should have been paying more attention to it, but I've been talking too much. So first things first, I do the turn. I roll the aileron over a little bit. I step on the left rudder pedal a hair. I keep climbing. Now, 1,500 feet. Bremerton traffic, 15 Tango is left crosswind for a left downwind northbound departure of Bremerton. Bremerton traffic, 15 Tango is about to turn left base for a touch and go on runway 20 Bremerton. I'm descending. I'm a little high and a little fast, but this is better because I know that I won't be in conflict with the other guy.
Bremerton traffic, running up through 19010, currently 8 nautical miles to the northeast, exiting airspace to the north. Bremerton traffic.
Bremerton traffic, 15 Tango left base for a touch and go runway 20 Bremerton. Okay, so we're doing 90 knots and I want to slow us down, so I'm going to pull my power back. We kind of line up on the runway center line. You feel my rudder feet moving? Do you feel them sort of moving gently when I'm doing this? Those white lights, if they're all white, means I'm high for the instrument glide slope. If I see 2 whites and 2 reds, it means I will land on those 2 white stripes right beside the lights. If I stay 2 whites, 2 reds. But I'm going to land a little bit short of that.
You got 3 red lights.
Yeah, so as I say, that tells me I would land a bit short of that, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to pull my nose up now and allow the airplane to sink a bit. And because I might not want it sinking really fast, I'm going to add power back. Then I just pull the nose back. Okay, and now this goes in, carb heat. These go all the way to flaps retracted. I add power again nicely and gently, smoothly. And I've got 55 knots, so I can pull the yoke back and pitch the airspeed up at 60.
20, full stop, landing long, Bremerton.
I don't see that guy that was 5 miles out.
Yeah, he's long gone. If he was doing what we think he was doing, he should have long since passed this airport and not. But you're always wanting to be swiveling your eyeballs and looking around. So we're going to climb to 2,000 feet. I'm going to pitch us forward a bit, or pitch us up to expedite that climb. So we're out over a practice airspace area. Belfair's off my left shoulder. Hard left, so at 4 o'clock, so you use, to point things out, you use a clock position of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it's actually at Belfair's at my 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking out over the airport over there off our wing, we've got reasonable weather coming from where we are heading toward the airport, so I see no reason to think that the airport would be suddenly socked in by some, low cloud or other situation that would make life challenging. And we're not going to go too far away from here anyway. So we're going to climb to 2,000 feet, maybe 3. We're at 2,340, 2,360, 2,380, 24.
I see.
So it's a clock, but if the little needle's between the 2 and the 3, then you're above 2,000 feet, somewhere below 3,000. And this is in hundreds of feet, 500, 600, 700. So when I suggest to you that you are going to be flying, I'm going to say, you have the flight controls. And you're going to read back to me, I have the flight controls.
I see.
And then that way, we both know who's flying the airplane. So, and the airplane is trimmed. You have the flight controls. Don't one hand on land.
Bremerton traffic, Cessna 830, be taxiing over to runway 20.
Okay, so put us into a right-hand turn. So kick the yoke over. And
Rudder a little bit.
And right rudder a little bit, just a little. because these clouds are at 3,000 feet and we don't want to go into them. So the rudder, how much rudder is based on this ball right here, trying to keep it between the two white lines, and it is right now.
Okay.
If the ball was over on the left, you'd step on the left. If the ball's over on the right, you'd step on the right. So it's called step on the ball.
Very good.
Okay. So you're doing fine. Give us a little more bank. So you roll bank into it, and then you take half of that back out so that it doesn't get any additional heavy bank.
Right.
And pull the nose back just a little bit without rolling out of the bank. So you're going to pull the nose up just to keep us at. So you glance at the altitude, but mostly what you're looking for is the horizon moving across the windscreen, neither going up nor down, not seeing any more blue sky, and keep a little bit of bank in. Okay. And now just roll out. So just level the wings and go right into a reverse roll in the other direction. So little left rudder and aileron in and then halfway back. And pull the nose up a little bit so that you just don't descend. And the reason you descend is some of the lift that was holding you up is now being used to put you into the turn. And I have the flight controls.
Got the flight controls.
Thank you, got it. Let's see what happens. Just let go for a sec now. Okay, I'm going to trim this up. Now I'm going to put us into a steeper turn. So you were at about a 20-degree bank, the second of the two little notches there. I'm going to put us into about not a 45, but about a 35-degree bank. So over we go on the left.
Very fun.
So you can feel me pulling back on the yoke to prevent us from losing a lot of altitude. And I'm still losing altitude. I'm going to roll over to the right and go right into a right-hand turn with some rudder pedal. Go ahead, put your hand on the yoke just to feel it.
Bremerton traffic, Cessna 83 Sierra departing runway 20 and a east departure.
Okay.
Yeah, you steer with the rudder.
Yeah, you want to have, I had too much rudder pedal in there, and when I glanced at the ball, I needed to correct. So here's what the rudder pedals do. I'm going to roll out on the airport. Okay, so the controls do the following things. If you pull the nose up, the airplane will climb initially.
Yeah.
But it slows it down.
Yes.
The nose controls the aircraft attitude, and really it is a speed control.
I see.
As long as he makes a good landing, and if I discover that he's not made a good landing. Bremerton traffic, 15 Tango is left base for full stop landing 20 Bremerton. So now I'm watching my airspeed and altitude. My airspeed's 80, this is good. I would normally have a lot of flaps in, but right this moment I'm not going to because I'm going to kind of dawdle around a bit waiting for him. But now I'll put one in. And possibly a second. Now I look out there to make sure there's nobody's coming at me.
Yeah, there.
They're right. And the Mooney is just short of touchdown. We've planned the sunset just about appropriately. And Bremerton traffic, 15 Tango is turning left base half mile, or left, is turning final half mile, full stop landing 20 Bremerton. So he's got the runway lights on for the instrument landing system, so he activated them. So they call that the rabbit. You chased a little white light right down onto the runway. So I'm fast, right? I've got 80 knots, and so I'm going to pull power.
Boating for 1021 kilo will be exiting at taxiway Echo.
And I can pull power and then pitch my nose up and watch what happens. If I pull my power to almost nothing and keep it the speed control at about 60, I start to sink.
Nice.
And I need to pull back to do that, so I'm going to trim off some of that pressure.
21 kilo.
I'm sinking too fast, so I'm going to add in some power so that I make sure I get to that runway. Now, if I didn't have an engine at that moment, I would have been in some issue, but So I'm at 60 miles per hour. I need to sneak it over towards the runway center line, which is one of my cardinal sins. And now I'm just going to pull the nose back and back and back and back. And then add a touch of power. And I'm going to put the carb heat in. I'm going to put the... And the Mooney is there. I'm going to let it roll and spare the brakes.